It's very different, yet at the same time similar. Both peoples grow up with the experience of a historical trauma, which needs to be addressed, and which needs and whose repetition needs to be prevented at any and all costs. I think to most of you, the trauma of Israeli Jews is well known, and that is, of course, the Holocaust, the extermination of millions of European Jews during the Second World War at the hands of Nazi Germany and its European collaborators. And of course, this has resulted in a certain way of looking at the world and seeing everything as a potential threat that could result in something similar and becoming very averse, I would say, becoming very averse to doing the right thing precisely in order to put an end to the conflict and prevent similar traumas. But it's also something that has been instrumentalized, cynically, I would argue, by the Israeli government to present any challenge to Israel, no matter how right or wrong, as motivated by the same kind of nativist hatreds that produced the persecution that culminated in the Holocaust. Whereas, of course, the reality in the Middle East is completely different. As far as Palestinians concerned, the great trauma, of course, is the what they call the Nakba, which is an Arabic word that means catastrophe. The Nakba of 1948, where virtually overnight the Palestinians were uprooted, dispossessed, became a stateless people, and their country was transformed from an overwhelmingly Arab territory in which you had Muslims, Jews, Christians, and others living into increasingly an exclusively Jewish state of Israel. And so these traumas exist, and these traumas are deeply rooted. I think at some level, there's a refusal by each to recognize the trauma of the other. But at the same time, I also think that we need to look at contemporary issues through the prism of contemporary realities and contemporary needs and contemporary requirements rather than through the prism of what happened in both cases here in the 1940s.